You know, back at the Super Bowl parade, the Kansas City Chiefs act like crazy people. Maybe they deserved it. Why would they deserve it? Well, they won the Super Bowl. But we had violence. We had children shooting other children. We had gun violence. We had murder. We had a beautiful young lady, a reporter in the city, get murdered, killed in cold blood during the day by clowns, thieves, thugs. I don't give a damn what you call me for calling them that, but people that shoot one another over, I'm embarrassed, I got dissed, are thugs, punks, assholes, you name it. They are it. What did the left do? Gun violence, they cried. Get rid of guns. Well, maybe that's true. That's fine. I don't believe anything happens in a vacuum. But a bigger question to me is, why are teenagers running the streets in the middle of the day with guns, unsupervised? Is that a parental issue? You're damn right it's a parental issue, and it's one that I have talked about a lot on this show. Look, Tony Dungy, a year or two ago, came out and said, let's be honest, we need fathers in the African-American community. We need fathers in all communities. We need fathers, and the numbers are staggering. You can look them up yourselves. But with fathers, basically, kids don't go to jail. Without fathers, basically, your chances of going to jail are about 50 times. Look it up if you don't believe me. I'm not going to do your work for you. But somehow, some way, that's a controversial issue. Somehow, some way, Tony Dungy was vilified. You know who had said the exact same thing that Dungy said about 3 to 5 years earlier? Barack Obama. You think Barack Obama got vilified? Oh, hell no. Why not? Well, he's on the right side of the media. He's on the left. The media is afraid of him. Tony Dungy's on the right. He's a Christian man. He speaks for common sense. I talked about it ad nauseum on my show, and every time we do, we get ripped. It's the guns. Get rid of the guns. Well, Chicago has strict gun laws, and they have a murder rate that's out of this world. I mean, what are you doing? We have background checks. We have all the stuff you're supposed to have, and guess what? Indianapolis, the murder rate is out of this world. We just had a mass shooting at a very popular bar, Land Sharks, downtown Broad Ripple, a very popular area. It's out of control. Why? We don't have fathers. Now, every time I see somebody that is involved in a shooting and they're under 50, I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a father. Well, Harrison Butker addressed this, and I'm glad he did. Harrison Butker's a kicker. He's a Catholic. Takes his religious very seriously. Plays for the Chiefs. He was there during that god-awful day when a person was murdered and others shot indiscriminately because I got dissed, man. No fathers. Here's what Harrison Butker had to say.
I do want to ask, there is a debate in this country over the best way to curb gun violence. After being so close to it, any thoughts?
Yeah, I had to do a lot of thinking about what took place at the parade. I know gun violence was a big discussion, but at the end of the day, this is degenerate violence, and it should not be occurring. I think we need strong fathers in the home. I think we need men that are leading, that are setting good examples, that are teaching the young men in our society that violence is not the way to handle our disputes. It's very unfortunate what happened. Unfortunately, many, many children were injured. A beautiful young lady was killed over someone getting offended and turning to violence to handle that dispute. It's so sad. I don't think guns are the issue. I think we need fathers in the home that are being great examples for our youth.
Degenerate violence. Boy, is that a good way to put it. Degenerate violence. You know what? He's right. These are little kids. They are. They're little kids running around with guns. Well, what the hell? Why don't we have fathers? Why is it such that we can't just, I don't know, stick our thing, have a baby, and then walk away? I don't understand it. And then we're all shocked when kids, they act like idiots, they get arrested, and next thing you know, we got problems. The idea that you're going to father a child and then let that child loose is insanity. It's literally insanity, and that's what we do. All right, I'll give it to you. 63% of youth suicide, fatherless homes. 5 times the average. Shall I continue? 90% of all homeless and runaway children are from fatherless homes. 32 times the average. 85% of all children who show behavior disorders from fatherless homes, 20 times the average. 80% of rapists with anger management problems come from fatherless homes, 14 times. 71% of high school dropouts come from fatherless homes, 9 times the average. Fatherless children, twice as likely to drop out of school. Children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. Children with fathers who are involved, 70% less likely to drop out of school. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to get A's in school. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to enjoy school and engage in extracurricular activity. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. I mean, what would you like me to say? Well, I don't believe those statistics. Well, if that's your answer, you're just a fool. Because I'm telling you, every single time somebody commits a murder here in Indy, it's the same person, young, African-American, fatherless. It just is. And I know we're not supposed to say that. I know that's blasphemy. But all you got to do, it got to the point here in Indy where, guess what? The news doesn't even put the race of the guy. I mean, let's just be honest here. We need fathers in the African-American community, in the white community, in the Hispanic community, in the Asia. We need fathers, period. And if you're going to argue that, God bless you. It's like, take your argument and go over there, because it's every time, every single time a white dude commits a murder, you go, I guarantee you didn't have a father. Now, mass shootings are different. Those guys are all insane. I'm talking about your Saturday night argument, boom, boom. I'm talking about what goes on in parades in Kansas City after a Super Bowl. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, they don't have a father. But I guess somehow, some way, this is a divisive issue. Somehow, some way, if you don't just blindly say, we need the guns. Yeah, sure, get rid of the guns. What do I care? Doesn't matter to me. But to say that fathers don't matter is going against science. It's going against numbers, statistics. It's going against everything. It's going against logic and common sense. You got a dad there to whoop your ass. Sure, you may do something stupid. Sure, you may commit a crime. I didn't read where everybody that has a father that's involved is perfect. Wait, did I read that? No. But it's complete crap. I mean, we're so afraid to call it what it is. The African-American community in Indianapolis got to get its shit straight. I mean, damn, seems like the same thing in Chicago, but we're not allowed to say it. I mean, honest to God, just look at the murder rates. I mean, I'm not here to be slaughtered by anybody. I don't think anybody is. Got to get our shit straight. If you want guns, great, but that doesn't preclude fathers. If you want fathers in the home, that doesn't preclude guns. Man, we got to get our shit straight. And we got to understand that everything doesn't have to divide. It should unite. The numbers are staggering about fathers. It should unite. Say, yes, look at these numbers. It's crazy. Instead, it's, well, no, that got nothing to do with it. You're racist. What? You know, what? I mean, just go through the numbers. It's easy. But we're not allowed to say it. First thing I saw was a response to Harrison Butker, where the respondent said, well, Harrison Butker makes up what he lacks in brains for a great right foot. I'm thinking to myself, what? So you're going to argue, let's go the other side. So you're going to argue that not having fathers is a good thing. Really? Okay. Well, he misses the point. It's all about the guns. No, you're missing the point. Things don't happen for just one reason. They don't. Guy gets a job. He doesn't take it for just one reason. Guy loses a job many times. It is just one reason. But most times it's a variety of reasons. It's just insanity to me, the level of stupid that we get to in this argument. Literally, Tony Dungy parroted exactly what Barack Obama said. Gave the numbers, gave the figures, basically that I just gave you, but you can find more. You can find more about incarceration. You can find more about murder rate. You can find whatever you want because they're all there. But Tony Dungy got crushed. Why? Conservative, Christian, wrong side of the media. How dumb is that? I will say this for Robert Griffin III. Robert Griffin III is I think he's going to be a lifetime member of the woke all-star bracket. I think. But I will say this about Robert Griffin III. He's entertaining. He is. He is entertaining. And part of the entertainment, I'm sure he's right. Part of it, I'm sure he's trying. He's a goofy guy. I told you, I sat next to him in a suite. I was in this suite. He was in this suite. The wall was about this high. Chip and Joanna Gaines, national championship game, Gonzaga versus Baylor. And everybody in that suite got tired of him. Everybody. Like, even his wife went up and said that these guys are like, man, I got to get away from this guy. Talk and laugh, whatever. But I tell you this, pretty good content on Twitter. All right, Robert Griffin says that Caleb Williams should refuse to play in Chicago for the Bears because of how they treated Justin Fields, the Bears. Now, look, I'm not mad at Caleb Williams saying I'm not playing in Chicago, going all Arch Manning. I support that. If Archie Manning can do it for Eli, you're damn right, Caleb Williams. If Elway's dad could do it for John, you're damn right, Caleb Williams' dad can do it for Caleb Williams. There's no question about that. None. But the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is not because how they treated Justin Fields. They gave Justin Fields every chance. Well, here it is. Let's hear from Caleb Williams or from Robert Griffin.
Caleb Williams should pull a Eli Manning and demand that the Chicago Bears do not draft him #1 overall. After everything that's happened with just Justin Fields, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? This is the organization that has my best interests at heart, and they're going to help develop me into the player that I want to become. Caleb Williams is on record saying that he wants to be legendary. He wants to rewrite history, and he wants to be the best that he can possibly be and win the most games he can possibly win. After the Bears took Justin Fields, the 11th pick in the draft, and turned him into a 6th round pick in the 2025 draft by trading him to the Pittsburgh Steelers, can Caleb Williams really look at that and say, you know what? Yeah, this organization is going to help get me where I want to go. I don't think it's saying that. Eli Manning had power in that 2004 draft. And he let the Chargers know, don't draft me. I don't believe in the direction that your organization is going, and I don't want to play there. He refused to play for them, even threatened to sit out an entire season if they drafted him. And they still drafted him. And the look on his face when he's holding up the jersey said everything. So what happened? The Chargers traded him to the New York Giants for Phillip Rivers, also a 2004 third-round pick, and then the 1st and 5th round picks in the 2005 NFL draft. What did Eli end up doing? He won 2 Super Bowls for the New York Giants. Had a great career. So, for Caleb Williams, don't get me wrong, guys. I thought Ryan Poles was having an amazing offseason up until this trade for Justin Fields. Because you trade Justin Fields so you can get some players back to help your team out this year. Because Ryan Poles and Matt...
I think that's pretty good. I don't think he's wrong. I honestly don't. I got no problem with what he said right there, and I agree with what he said right there. Look, I'm Justin Fields. The problem that I have, though, with that is the Bears gave Justin Fields every opportunity. They did. And it's never in a bubble. It's never the Bears' fault. It's never Justin Fields' fault. It's a combination of both. And Justin Fields, I would assume, at some point will have the opportunity to prove the Bears wrong. But I don't disagree even a little bit with what Robert Griffin III is saying. When you have the power, you use it. When you've got the big stick, you swing it. And right now, maybe for the only time, or certainly for the only time until he gets the opportunity to get into free agency 6 years from now, Caleb Williams will never have this kind of power. And if I'm Caleb Williams and I'm his dad, I'm certainly addressing what happened with Justin Fields. Now, we all know there's a backstory. Is the backstory Justin Fields didn't work at it? That doesn't seem to be the case. Is the backstory that Justin Fields wasn't a good guy? That doesn't seem to be the case. Is the backstory that Justin Fields wasn't a guy that could lead men? That doesn't seem to be the case. By all accounts, Justin Fields was good at all those things. By all accounts, Justin Fields was a great dude. Problem was he couldn't throw the football in a thimble. which is what you have to do in the NFL. The other problem was, well, maybe when the Colts or the Bears drafted him, they got a defensive coach. Maybe, and this is a weird one, maybe it's just the jinx of Chicago quarterbacks. Maybe it's just, look, way back in the day when Ted Cianis was putting the Billy Goat Hex on the Chicago Cubs, maybe somebody didn't notice that when Sid Luckman was done, maybe Sid Luckman did, that when Sid Luckman was done quarterbacking the Bears in 1810, maybe there was a hex put on the quarterback. Maybe there was a malaka. Maybe there was some voodoo. Maybe there was just somebody that said, I don't care, we are not letting you have a good quarterback. And Justin Fields, Caleb Williams understands that. I mean, think about it. Sid Luckman still holds records. Sid Luckman has great-great-great-grandchildren. Still holds passing records for the Chicago Bears in an era where they played with leather helmets and they handed the ball off. The best quarterback in Chicago Bear modern history is Jim McMahon. Now, that modern history is 1985. That's not so modern anymore. The best quarterback since then, I guess, is Jay Cutler. But everybody hated Jay Cutler because he was so beat up he couldn't play in a playoff game, and idiots in Chicago thought he should. But those same idiots bitch, whine, and moan about everything. It's a bad quarterback team. It's a historically bad quarterback team. It's like there's a Malaka. There's something there. There's a Kavorka. Something Seinfeld said that is on the Chicago Bear quarterback. And if I'm Caleb Williams' dad, I got to go to the chin. I got to ask why. Why? What do you plan? Well, we got Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. That's a good start. Cole Kmet's a tight end. That's a good start. Just brought in Swift. That's a good start. Ryan Poles has had a great offseason, but it does baffle me, like Robert Griffin III said. So you're telling me, Indianapolis Colts, you wouldn't give up a third-round pick to have Justin Fields as your backup? Instead, we got a 40-year-old Joe Flacco? Now, look, I'm all for the 40-year-old Joe Flacco, but the answer was apparently no. They wouldn't, which I know we always go to the player, and I just did, but let me go to the other side. If I'm Justin Fields and I'm Caleb Williams and I'm Williams' dad, I got to ask one question. A 6th-round pick? Question mark. There's another side. Other teams needed backup quarterbacks. Other teams needed a guy to come in with athletic ability, a proven starter to back up their guy. Our guy, Anthony Richardson, is oft injured. Our guy hasn't made it through a season even in high school. Our guy played 4 games, made it through none, and then his season was over. And we couldn't give up something better than a 6th-round pick, or we wouldn't give up something better than a 6th-round pick, and nobody else would? You're telling me the Bears were so in love with the Steelers that they had to take the Steelers' offer and that's it? Au contraire, ma suite. Oh, hell no, to put it a different way. No. Something's up with Justin Fields. Now, nobody wants to say it because he comes off as this great dude, but something's up when that's all you can get. And a lot of teams are looking for a backup quarterback. Something's afoot here with Fields. I have no idea what it is. Nobody wants to ask the question. What's going on with you, Fields? It's a problem. Everybody says you got great potential. You were a 1st-round pick. Hell, you were a first 5 pick. You were a starting quarterback. And now, a 6th-round pick? Hell, Mac Jones brought in more than you. What you doing? What you got going, son? You got to sit down. You got to be the adult. You do. You got to be the adult. And you got to have an intervention with Fields. Do you realize a 6th-round pick is all you're worth? Now, why? Son, you got to go Bear Bryant chair. Bear Bryant always had his desk chair was like up here and the couch was down there. So he was like God. That's what you got to do with Fields. You got to make Fields explain or you got to know what's happening. But the fact that he only went for a 6th-round pick, that ain't on Ryan Poles. That's on Justin Fields. And I would want to know why. You know, we talk about being woke. There's two things you never see. An old happy lesbian, you know, they're always looking miserable and gray, and a happy woke person. That's just a fact. Now, I'm guessing if this thing goes viral, which sometimes my show does, lesbians will be coming out of the woodwork to say, look, I'm 70 and happy. No, you're not. No, you're not. I've never seen one, and I've seen a lot. When I would travel with Lee and go to softball games, I saw a lot of old lesbians. They always look miserable. They always look like this is the life we chose, like a mob guy. This is the life that we've chosen. They're not. And woke folk, always unhappy, always complaining. You see it all the time, always screaming, always yelling, always bitching, always whining. Now, there's a study. There's a study that's out that says what I just said is true. I wonder when the old lesbian study is going to come out. I wonder if it already has. I'm not that interested, and I'm probably just 99% right on that one. But here's the study. Woke people are more likely to be unhappy, anxious, and depressed. Really? See this? You pull it plays jingle bells. Anyway, psychological researchers in Finland have created an assessment to help measure an individual's commitment to principles of social justice and made surprising findings across the Finnish population, including a negative correlation between progressive ideals and levels of happiness. Their research trajectory included extensive reading on intersectional feminism, critical race theory, queer theory, and other relevant academic disciplines that inform critical social justice. The Psych Post reported on this. All right, 7 truisms of woke people. All right, 7 truisms on woke people. Hold on, I got to get rid of something here. All right. A pilot survey. Listen to this. A pilot survey, 851 adult participants, most of whom were associated with the University of Turku. After refining the initial scale, the study was expanded to a more representative national sample of 5,000 participants distributed by Helsingin Sanomat, largest newspaper in Finland. In the end, their critical social justice attitude scale identified several truisms of woke people. 1, if white people have on average a higher level of income than black people, it's because of racism, of course. University reading lists should include fewer white and European authors. Microaggressives should be challenged. I love microaggressions. He microaggressed me. Jesus. Microaggressions should be challenged often and actively. Trans women who compete with women in sports are not helping women's rights. The reverse scored on that. We don't need to talk more about the color of skin, people's skin. Really? I thought that's all we needed to talk about. I thought up top, white people have a higher income. It's racist. No more white authors, but now we don't need to. A member of a privileged group can adapt features or cultural elements of a less privileged group. Good. The reverse scored. Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I do know. Y'all are miserable. Oh, my God. Dakich said the word bitching. Oh, my God. I can't believe it. Oh, my God. What? The most concerning finding was the relationship between mental health and agreement with the scale. Specifically, researchers found a high prevalence of anxiety and depression in people who believe the statement, if white people have on average a higher income than black people, it's because of racism. Most broadly, they found that those who identified as left-wing were most likely to report lower mental well-being. Here's how you know. This is one of my favorite things. Guy goes to the Democratic convention. This is every year somebody does this. And they have a go Trump. The yelling, the screaming, the threatening, the hate. Guy goes to a Republican convention, has a big sign that says support Biden. People are like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? It's every year. I don't know how you people on the left that are so woke survive every day. Lexapro is good. I recommend it. I take it. But it's astounding to me that every single time these folks get excited. It's yelling, it's screaming, it's threatening, it's awful, it's terrible. It's really amazing. Like, I can tell on Twitter, this is how I know this to be true. I can tell on Twitter when I open up Twitter and somebody is just going bat blank crazy on me, I always click on it and I go, huh. And then I scroll, and of course, it's a liberal. It is 100% of the time. Not 90, not 100% of the time. If somebody is going nuts on me, and they are going nuts on anything, basketball, Indiana University, my stance, I always click on it. 100% of the time, there is a political difference between me and them. Not 80, 100. It's really fascinating, and they're angry. They're pissed. They're hostile. I mean, it ain't nice. It's total and complete unhinged craziness. I don't understand it. I just know it. It's like that pornography judge, Supreme Court judge said, I can't define it, but I know it when I see it. That's exactly what this is. I'm telling you, man, I am telling you that this is 1,000% accurate. Period. Ladies and gentlemen, sex is back in the Olympics. Sex is back in the Olympics. I first heard of sex in the Olympics when they used to have something called the Olympic Festival. The Olympic Festival was basically a junior Olympics, but higher. High school kids coming and playing. A couple friends of mine played in it. A couple guys that went to other school, and they were friends of mine through recruiting and other things. When I was in college or high school, it was 1981. I didn't get invited. Coach Knight let Rick Roray go instead of me, and I knew my days were numbered at Indiana. But having said that, so at the Olympic Fest, two of my buddies are like, man, both of them separately, holy cow. People are just crazy horny at the Olympics. Everybody's banging. And then Alfred and Uwe, my two roommates or friends, teammates, went to the Olympics. And they came back and they're like, oh my God. Like, people are insane in the Olympic Village. Everyone's banging. I mean, banging. Like, unbelievable. It's like the horniest group of people. Now, people say, well, you get all that testosterone. I don't know. I don't know. I know you got a lot of great-looking people with great bodies that are horny as hell. I did not think it. I did not think of that. I am still the most naive person you know. But not about this. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? The sex is back in the Olympics. Yes, Paris, the city of love, 2024. Listen to this. They lifted the intimacy ban. 300,000 condoms now available to the Olympians. Yeah, there you go. Sex isn't prohibited at the Olympics this time. The intimacy has been banned, and Olympic Village will be stocked with condoms. Remember, banging was banned at the Tokyo Olympics during the COVID-19, the pandemic, where athletes had to practice social distancing. And to enforce the rules, Jimmy hats, which apparently is what a condom is called, were provided, but they were told not to use them. Keep them as souvenirs. Really? Really? You're going to give 18 to 35, 40-year-olds condoms, and you're going to say, hey, don't use them? When right next door, Susie Rottencrotch just got done with a poll vote, and she's ready to poll vote in a different way, you're telling me that that's what's going to happen here? Please, children. But not in Tokyo, baby. Spread your legs, and here we come, apparently. Look, I'm shocked by this. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't know what a Trojan was. True story. Junior in high school. My buddies, during a high school basketball game, had a big sheet. We were a Catholic school. We were playing the Chesterton Trojans. They put up a big sheet. Even Trojans burst under pressure. Everybody thought it was great. The priest took it down. Threatened suspension. True story. I didn't know what it meant. I had no idea what it meant. I didn't know. I didn't know what Trojans were. I'm a junior in high school. Actually had sat out a year of high school, so I was really a senior. I didn't know. Man, I should have spent more time running around banging than anything else. But you know what? You're going to be able to get her done at the Olympics. I think it's only fair. I mean, think about it. Big stud athlete has a baby with big stud runner girl. Oh, you develop a super race. You got a Norwegian, big old Norwegian, and a dude from, I don't know, United States, whoever, basketball player, name one, whoever's playing. And next thing you know, you got a kid. Screw the condom, create a super race at the Olympics. That's my stance. You should walk in and go, let's create a super race. Find someone your own size. Bang them. Why not? Speaking of banging, I got to tell you, I said this yesterday. AOC is hot. She is. Oh, that's sexist. Yeah, I know. But you watch this show, you ladies, and you go, Double D is hot. I get it. Anyway, people are furious in AOC's district. They are not happy. And you know why they're not happy? They're not happy because, well, migrants, illegal immigrants, yes, I said illegal, are turning her district into this, into crime, into prostitution. Let's hear from the good folks. Oh, there's not audio. I'm supposed to talk over this. So this is AOC's district. This is what people are pissed off about. How about that? People are pissed off because, well, this is what they got in AOC's district because AOC, like every other crazy-ass, ridiculous liberal politician, thinks this is a good way to go about America. We've become sort of this epicenter of crime and prostitution and illegal street vending. It's taken over many streets. It goes all the way down from Corona through Elmhurst and into Jackson Heights. These are three neighboring neighborhoods that are really being hit hard by these problems. That's Ramses Frias, who is running against AOC. That's right. I mean, well, are you surprised? I mean, look, I said it before. I'll say it again. Do the math. Millions coming across the border with nowhere to go. They're given money. Where do they go? Sanctuary cities, New York City. That's where they go. I mean, it isn't hard to figure. You know, Chicago just had a transgender immigrant killed by by an illegal immigrant who had been left out of prison 3 different times and, oh, by the way, isn't going to be charged for this murder. It's amazing what the stupidity with which we are working this country. And I'm glad that people are standing up, but you know how stupid people are. People are going to say, hey, you know what? I still vote for AOC, man. I do. I still believe. Here's what just happened in Chicago. A transgender migrant was killed in broad daylight by a man shouting homophobic slurs. The suspect is an illegal immigrant from Venezuela linked to a drug cartel. It gets worse. The DA is declining to charge him. It gets even worse. 2 days prior, the killer was charged with multiple felonies, including illegally having a gun. That's not all. It gets even worse. On March 3rd, the suspect was arrested again, driving without a license. Guess what? He was released. It's all in the Chicago Sun-Times. It is coming to a neighborhood near you. A neighborhood near you. A neighborhood at you. It may be right here in my street. As I said before, I got a neighbor. Everybody's welcome. Good. You take them. Good. That bus drops off people. Go to your house. Because people aren't here to help this country. And if you don't believe that, you're nuts. The people that are here that come over to help this country are people like Enes Kanter that do it legally. Not to come out of a Venezuelan prison and commence to doing some murder. Donald Trump, this announcement just came in, is suing George Stephanopoulos, ABC News, for defaming him during an interview with Nancy Mace. The lawsuit stems from Stephanopoulos questioning Mace about being a rape survivor. He apparently lied about Trump during his questioning of Mace when he asserted that Trump was found liable for rape. Trump was not found liable for rape. So how about that? Fight back, always. These statements were and remain false and were made by defendant Stephanopoulos with malice or with a reckless disregard for the truth that defendant Stephanopoulos knows that these statements were patently and demonstratively false. They will get out of it. They will say it was an innocent mistake. That's what they will do.